So today, a number of you have come and shared a bit of some of the struggles that you have had, and I receive that as a gift. You're sharing a little bit of your story with me. It's just a small part. But pastorally, what I can offer is to receive your story and then carry that with me and pray for you as the Spirit brings you to mind. I've asked Beth, do we have the microphone back here, or do you guys have it? Can we have the microphone? I've asked Beth to do a little bit of sharing. Beth has had her own physical sufferings as well, some of her challenges. She's had a number of surgeries in her life. Come on up here, girl. And so she's had a lot of chronic pain in her back and down one of her legs. She was unable to, for 2 years straight, she was unable to sit in a chair for very long. So when we would go out for dinner, we would stand at a high table. That's the only way we could go out for dinner because she couldn't sit, so we had to stand while we ate. And it led to some long challenges, and I've watched Beth wrestle with God in her pain. So I asked her to share a little bit of how she's experienced God's companionship and other people's care for her.
He asked me to share. He told me like really quick what to share, so I'm not exactly sure what he wants me to say.
Whatever you want.
So when this first happened, we to this day, we're not sure what happened to me, but something happened that was extremely painful that caused me to not be able to sit in a chair. I couldn't sit upright for 2 years in a chair. So I spent a lot of time, all my time, laying on a sofa for 2 years. And in that time, I lost a lot of friendships because my friends, I think, they were either afraid, they didn't know what to do with a friend that was in so much pain, and they, I think it was just hard for them to see me that way. I did have one friend that didn't care, and she just pushed right into it with me. She came and she brought me gifts, small gifts, a flower, a book, a card, and she sat with me. And she sat wherever she needed to sit so that she could see my face and I could see her face. And she didn't care how I cried. She didn't care how angry I was. She didn't care. She wasn't afraid of that. She just stepped right into it with me and prayed with me and just continued to walk with me for a very long time. And that gave me hope, but it also just allowed me to be honest, not just in front of God, but also it helped me to know that it was okay to be that way as a human being, just with other human beings. And I wasn't bearing my burden alone. With Scott, we were both suffering at the same time. And so it was good for us to be able to bear each other's burden, but then to have someone else to walk with me was also very important. And then through the years, I think, as I was able a little bit more to sit, I got more active and things, but my pain levels on a scale of 1 to 10, I lived pretty much every day. It was between a 7 and an 8. And so my pain levels were really quite high for many years. And there were times that my pain would spike. And there's one time in particular that Scott and I were at someone else's house. We weren't even home. And my pain spiked really high. And Scott, when this would happen, he would come and he would talk. He had to talk right into my ear, the same way that when I was in labor with our children, the pain was so intense. And he just kept talking in my ear to breathe, just breathe, just breathe. And I honestly, there were many times that I asked God just to take me home because I couldn't stand the pain. And I remember laying there and him talking in my ear and me just saying, God, please just take me. I can't live like this anymore. I cannot live the rest of my life like this. And begging God to either take the pain or take me home. And I remember in a moment's time feeling a feeling I've never felt before, but I felt like the Lord I was overwhelmed by his presence with me. And I felt like I could feel him in my body. I can't explain it any other way, but I could feel his presence in me. And I knew that he was feeling my pain with me. And I'm so grateful for that because it made me realize he always feels my pain with me. He's walking beside me. He's along with me. That's true. But he's in me. And he feels my pain. He always feels my pain. And he doesn't want me to be in pain. He doesn't long for that. He doesn't like my pain. I don't think he wants any of us to be in pain. At the same time, he's teaching me through my pain to be utterly dependent on him. And I can't tell you, I'm doing better after 10 years. It's a miracle. It really is a miracle. I never thought that I would feel any better. And I'm able to be here with Scott. And but I know that God doesn't he doesn't. I believe he can heal. I believe he can use doctors to heal. I believe he can use medicine.
Hold the mic up higher.
And but I know primarily that he wants us to know that he's with us in our pain, and that he also feels our pain with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was important for Beth to be able to share just a little bit of her story. We prayed for many years that the Lord would provide some resolution, and she found a physical therapist who identified something for Beth that no other doctor was able to find. So for the last year and a half, this physical therapist has been working with Beth, and her pain levels have just slowly started coming down. So do an international flight, sit on an airplane seat for hours from the United States just to Amsterdam. She couldn't do that 5 years ago. And yeah, she did it the other day, and she's here. So we're grateful for some of the resolution, but it's been a long, long journey. One thing Beth and I were convinced of is God was with us. We didn't understand it. We didn't like it. And I watched Beth with other people when they are in pain, and she knows pain, and she can care for them. And so God has filled her life with his presence, so that when Beth is in the presence of other people who are suffering, she brings the presence of God with her to that person. And you do exactly the same thing. And Paul says, if we are comforted, it is for your sake. And if we suffer, it is for your sake. So your sufferings are never just for yourself. God is equipping you and filling you with his life so that you can bring care and comfort to other people. And you know how much, you know the needs in your own country. You know your country and the people and the issues that are going on in your society and in your communities. And through the difficulties you experience, God is equipping you to care for them.